we'll start with Shah Jahan again. Shah Jahan, original name was Khurram. Shah Jahan was his title. Shah means king, Jahan means world, king of the world. Even Mumtaz was her title. They used to give titles to their ladies. Arjuman Banu Begum, a typical Persian name, was his real name, as she was Persian by blood. Mumtaz. By blood she was Persian, her real name was Arjuman Banu. And her father was in the royal court of Jahangir, father of Shah Jahan. So, and her aunt, Noor Jahan, was already an empress. She was the one who was ruling behind the curtain. She was a very cunning woman. She knew that if she presents herself on the throne, people might revolt because they don't want to be ruled by a woman. So she controlled everything behind the curtain in the reign of Jahangir. So about Mumtaz, her father was in a royal court, in a royal guard. Her aunt was an empress. So her studies, her education, everything acted in a royal manner. And she had all the qualities that a queen deserved. She was very beautiful too. When she became young, she attracted this Prince Khurram. Shah Jahan was known as Shah Jahan. Love at first sight, you can say nowadays. They saw each other in a market. You must have heard about the market, Meena Bazaar, where they saw each other. A market where only ladies was allowed and none of the male except the emperor, lucky man, was allowed to enter in that market. Where he saw her, fell in love with her, decided to marry her. In 1612 they married. When Shah Jahan was 20 and she was 19. Shah Jahan was 20 and he already had 2 wives. Mumtaz was his third. But the first 2 were political marriages. He didn't love any of them. He didn't have any child with any of the first 2 wives. It happened back then to have a healthy relationship between 2 different dynasties, ceremonial occasions. These things used to take place. So he didn't love any of them. They were just the wives, the empresses, that's all. But with Mumtaz, he had children. How many?
6. 14. 14.
She was 19 when she married. When she died, she was 38. Which means 19 years of marriage life, 14 kids.
Gap.
Every 13 months or 14 months max. It's still beautiful. Attracting the emperor. He was madly in love with her. Generally, nobody talked about her, but all people knew about her that she was a woman, she died, and that's all. Besides being his favorite wife, she was his legal advisor. She was his best friend, she was his companion. A lucky charm, you can say. Wherever Shah Jahan was going, asking his wife to be with him. Maybe a lucky charm, he used to consider her. So wherever he used to go, she always accompanied him. In 1631, in the 19th year of their marriage life, Shah Jahan had to go to fight against Khan-e-Jahan Lodhi. Lodhi was ruling before Mughals. So there was a family rivalry, and one of the kings of Lodhi dynasty, Khan-e-Jahan, invited Shah Jahan for a battle. Shah Jahan, as always, many battles he had to go to fight against him in south. As always, Mumtaz accompanied. And at the same time, during the battle, which was unexpected, she gave birth to her 14th child, a baby girl. Survived, although it was a premature delivery. Otherwise, they wouldn't have brought her with him. Nobody was expecting this will happen. She fell ill because of septic complications in pregnancy. She fell ill, and it is said that she had realized she'll die. And what she did, having given the responsibilities of her children, out of 14, 8 died natural death, 6 were alive, including the youngest girl. Having given the responsibilities, she asked him to promise her that he will not marry her. Maybe being a mother, she was getting selfish that if he marries another woman, having his own children, will not take care of mine. Maybe a mother's wish. Shah Jahan never married anyone. He was 32 when she died. He was 39 when she died at the age of 38. He was only 39. He could have married. He didn't marry anyone. And then she expressed her last wish, that to make my name flourish ever in the world and to make our love flourish ever in the world, build my tomb, a tomb that the world had never seen before, and should be a pilgrimage for the lovers. And I think mission accomplished. In 1631 June, Mumtaz died. Burhanpur was the name of that part, which is now in Madhya Pradesh. It used to be the part of south of India. Because during British, Kabul got extended, a map got changed. And that is in Madhya Pradesh now, but it used to be a part of south. Her body was buried temporarily because Shah Jahan was keeping something big in his mind, which was needing time. He gave her a temporary burial in Burhanpur, came back to Agra. Agra fort where you were yesterday, I believe. Was good?
Yeah.
Beautiful, amazing place. And locked himself in a room. His scholars have written that he didn't meet anyone almost a week. And just in a week when he came out to his room, his back was bent, his hair was grey, and was in tears completely. He revived himself somehow because he had a mission now. He doesn't care about the kingdom, money and all. This is when Prince wants to become the emperor. And announced a memorial to be built. Invited designers from the famous architects of the world. People knew that how rich was India back then. In fact, till 18th century, India was the only source of getting diamonds. Sone ki chidiya. India was very rich. All people knew it. And they knew this is a rich kingdom of our richest country. People from across the world wanted to be a part of the project, those who were eligible. Coming with designs to India, to Agra. Akbarabad was the name of it, after the name of Akbar who built Agra. This is Akbarabad. Coming to Akbarabad, and I believe water was the only source of navigation to airplanes, and bringing designs. Meanwhile, a site was platted. It was again a garden of Man Singh, Jaipur.
Okay.
And as per Islamic law, Maharaja was granted some other residence in exchange. Answer of your question. I didn't want to disclose it there, otherwise there would have been no fun. So, got this site. 20,000 master craftsmen were appointed on this project. Marble was brought, as you already knew, Makrana, around 360 kilometers from here, and more than 1,000 elephants were used to bring the marble from there. Designers with their designs came to Shah Jahan. Shah Jahan was an engineer, you can say an architect in himself. He saw all the designs and finalized one. And that was the design of Master Isa Afand from Persia. Iran, we call it Iran now. Any idea what was the design made up of? No computers, no pen, no pencils, no papers. Sorry? Wood? Carving, good answer, but not the exact one. Any other? Want to guess? Just remember where the architect came from. Iran, carpet. A carpet with the help of needle and thread on a black velvet. Imagine you try to imagine his imagination. With the help of needle and a silver thread over a black velvet. Seeing the design? Layer upon the layer upon the layer, making a three-dimensional carpet. That idea impressed the emperor a lot. He was flattered. And the construction of Taj Mahal started in December 1631. Whatever I have just told you took only 6 months. In June she died, in December construction started. In the 6 months, without WhatsApp, the message was spreaded around the world. Without airplanes, people traveled to India. Elephants brought the marble from 360 kilometers. 20,000 people are there. They have their lodges and rooms with them, and the construction started. Mumtaz's body was removed from Burhanpur. There's a chamber. When we go in, I'll show you a chamber. Her body was preserved in that. Mummified wasn't possible, so they must have used some sort of herbs. We don't know exactly what that herbs made of. Her body was buried in it. When the construction of Taj was started, foundation was ready. Her body was remodified with all the funerary rites and rituals. Her body was buried in it, and then the construction started. Now, Shah Jahan, he was taking care of every single detail. When the body is underground, he wanted nobody to walk on it. So now, how is that possible? You are going to make such a massive building and you are not allowed to walk on it. So when the floor was ready, a replica was built exactly on top of the real. Now people can only be on the sides of it, nobody can walk on the top. And now people are not considered to be standing over a grave on the side. And symmetry again, OCD. Tomb, real one is in the center, replica is on top again in the center, and over the replica, that point, the tower. So nobody, that's the dome, nobody can walk and stand on the top. It took 20,000 workers 22 years to complete it. Hammer, chisel, hand grinder means those wires, and the glue that we don't know. That time. Magic was created. They all were old by the time Taj was completed in 1653. Shah Jahan, 61 years old. He was glad he saw it by himself. Some historians have written that he was going mad when he saw it completed. He was shouting that just go and tell Mumtaz I have completed my promise. I mean, so this is when people were thinking whether he will continue with the emperorship or not. By now, all the princes are grown up, want to be the emperor. 4 sons were there. Dara Shikoh, eldest, Murad Baksh, Aurangzeb, and Shah Jahan. Aurangzeb was a popular one because he became the emperor. He wasn't the eldest. Still, he became the emperor. Means something happened, a treaty or a battle. Those were the only 2 options. So unfortunately, there was no treaty. Battle, he killed all his brothers. And before that, he imprisoned his father Shah Jahan. A beautiful palace that is called Jail. Therefrom, he saw the Taj Mahal. Aurangzeb was a very clever man. He turned out to be a very successful emperor. Eventually, 49 years of emperorship on such a massive nation. And he held his father captive in that, allowing him to wear the royal dress, so that when people see from down there, imagine he's relaxing, tired, or a person who is very sad, allowing his 2 sisters, Shah Jahan's daughters, to be with him. So to give an idea, to give a illusion to the people that he's having his own time, watching Taj and relaxing with his daughter. Doesn't know that there is custody behind him, not allowed to go anywhere. Shah Jahan had to spend his last 8 years, long time, in jail. When he died, in the lap of his daughter, gazing towards Taj, it was his wish to be buried in. Aurangzeb wasn't against him. He allowed his sister, okay, this was his final wish, go and bury him there. So his daughters made Shah Jahan's tomb in the Taj. Again, the original in the basement and a replica.
We aren't allowed to the basement.
To the basement once in a year when the festivities happen in the month of Ramadan, a month before the Ramadan. Now we will see the replica, we'll go in and we'll see the replica. We'll give you an idea how it exactly looks like. The one in the center, of course, Mumtaz, and the one which is destroying the symmetry is of Shah Jahan. He himself destroyed the symmetry of Taj. And the rule of the nature says that nothing is perfect. 13 years after the completion of a symmetrical building, symmetry was destroyed by the same man who was responsible for the symmetry. And what happened, why he did that I'll tell you later. You must have heard about the Black Taj. We'll be talking about it later. So far, so good. Nothing in the back, just the black cloud or the blue cloud in moonlight. So it appears suddenly that something unimaginable, I believe. See, and how hard this marble, apart from being non-porous, the reason it is still white is because it's the only marble on this earth that is 100% non-porous. It absorbs nothing, no effect of weather, rain or acid rain. If anything falls on it, it doesn't absorb. And the hardest marble of the world. You can see those steps are as old as the Taj Mahal. And from there, everybody walks on it. This is COVID time. Before that, 30,000 people used to come every day in Taj on an average. They all used to walk on it. You can see it's black. Look at the hardness of it. Imagine 400 years old.